Hi everyone, this lesson is going to be about mitosis and its importance. But before we discuss why mitosis is important, we need to obviously first understand what mitosis even is. As soon as we start making sense of what mitosis is, its importance automatically becomes apparent. To keep things simple and straightforward, let's start with an example each one of us has at least experienced once in our lifetime. If we have a healthy skin and we end up getting a cut on that skin, we notice that that cut heals within a few days and now a scar forms around the same area where the initial cut was. So, the area of the skin where the cut is has now cells that are damaged and old and need to be replaced, whereas the skin around the cut still has cells that are healthy. These healthy cells have the ability to give rise to cells that look and perform the same function as them and so are able to replace the damaged and old cells with new ones. And so, in order to heal a wound, when cells get old and damaged, cells identical to their original version must be able to replace them. Only then can the wound heal, and only then can a scar form in its place. When these old and damaged cells get replaced by new cells, that is an example of mitosis. Similarly, when organisms grow, they need to make identical copies of their pre existing cells. In order to do this, these organisms again make use of the process of mitosis. So, to highlight, cells cannot actually arise out of the blue. So, if an organism needs to grow, or if a damaged tissue or an old tissue needs to be replaced by a new one, new cells just cannot come out of nowhere and from an absolute thin air kind of a situation. They need to arise from cells that already exist. So, they make copies of pre existing cells. And that process is actually what mitosis is all about: creation of a new cell from an already pre existing healthy cell. You see, each and every cell that is present within an organism's body carries out a unique and specific function. The question actually arises that how does each and every cell know what functions it's supposed to carry out and what is it not supposed to do? The answer to this lies in the nucleus that is found within each cell. Each cell has its own nucleus which contains all the necessary instructions that are going to be needed by the cell to carry out its function. The nucleus becomes the instruction center for the entire cell because it houses or contains the genetic material of the cell, which is called the DNA. It is the expression of the DNA within a cell that actually highlights what functions the cell is supposed to carry out and what it's not supposed to carry out at all. Which is why no cell can truly and actually exist without a nucleus. Which is why it becomes important that any new cell that is coming into existence has its own nucleus and set of instructions before it is able to exist independently. Therefore, the nucleus divides before the cell divides, so that each and every newly formed cell already has its own copy of nucleus and thus its own set of identical instructions. These set of instructions are going to be identical to the cell that it has just arisen from. The cell that is giving rise to a new cell or new cells is called the parent cell, whereas the cells that arise from a pre-existing cell are called the daughter cells. So each daughter cell actually has a set of instructions that are identical to the parent cell that it has come from. This basically means that each daughter cell has a nucleus that is also identical to its parent cell's nucleus. This entire process, where the nucleus divides to make a copy of itself, is called mitosis. So, mitosis is a term that is not supposed to describe cell division. Rather, mitosis is a term given to the nuclear division of the cell. Except mitosis is not the only kind of nuclear division that occurs inside organisms. Another one, called meiosis, also occurs inside organisms also. But mitosis is unique in its nuclear division such that it results in the duplication of the parent cell nucleus while also preserving the chromosome number. And there is no vital information that either gets lost or altered in the process. Just to highlight and remind you guys again, each cell has a nucleus, and that nucleus contains a fixed number of chromosomes inside each and every one of its cells. When mitosis occurs, it causes a replication of the entire nucleus within the same cell. But while doing so, it preserves the chromosome number. So if the original nucleus had 46 chromosomes, for example in humans, the new resulting nucleus will also have 46 chromosomes in itself. And in case the number of chromosomes and the chromosomes themselves are entirely preserved, that means that the nucleus that the parent cell had is going to be identical to the nucleus of the daughter cell. As long as the nuclei of the two cells are same and identical, it means that the resulting cell will also carry out the same function as the original parent cell will. And so therefore, in mitosis, the parent cell behaves as a template for the formation of an identical daughter cell that is going to carry out the same processes as the parent cell, since it's going to have the same nucleus that contains the same DNA. The process of this nuclear replication and nuclear division is precisely controlled to ensure the preservation of genetic material. And this happens so that there is no deviation from the parent cell. In case there is any problem or fault in the nuclear replication and nuclear division, it's going to give rise to a very new and different kind of daughter cell from a parent cell. So there's going to be a deviation from the parent cell, and a new kind of daughter cell will be formed in case the nuclear replication and nuclear division is altered and there is any variations in it. In case that does happen, the new kind of daughter cell that will form will not carry out the same function as the parent cell. In fact, it would rather carry out a function that is going to be unique to itself, which means that it won't necessarily be carrying out the functions that it was supposed to, and will be wasting the organism's resources on functions that were actually not needed by the organism at all. Similarly, a new kind of daughter cell that forms might result in a defective nucleus such that that nucleus has no control over the mitotic process of that cell. If that happens, the cell will lose its ability to control when mitosis needs to occur and when it needs to stop. In case that happens, it can actually give rise to a tumor because the cells will go on dividing repeatedly and unchecked, which is what happens during the formation of a tumor. And therefore, in order to ensure normal growth and functioning of the organism, the daughter cell created must be identical to the parent cell, which means that the nucleus of the parent cell must be identical to the nucleus of the daughter cell. And this process only occurs through one type of nuclear division, which is called mitosis. Without the normal process of mitosis, the organisms will lose the ability to grow, and neither will they have the ability to replace old and damaged cells to new and healthy ones. Both these situations heavily rely on the process of mitosis. In fact, the ability to make copies of itself from pre-existing cells is so important for organisms that some of them only use mitosis as a form of reproduction, and that reproduction is called asexual reproduction. Organisms that undergo asexual reproduction make use of mitosis to reproduce and make a copy of themselves, because mitosis is going to ensure an identical production of the daughter cell from the parent cell. So that means if an organism is to reproduce, for example, it's a single cell organism and it wants to multiply and make copies of itself, it just needs to undergo mitosis and a new organism that is identical to itself will be created. Similarly, mitosis actually forms the foundation of our immune response, as both B cell and T cell use mitosis to clone. the part that I just said will not be making a lot of sense to you if you have not done your immunity lessons yet. But the point is that even if you don't know immunity yet, in case mitosis does not happen and does not occur, your immune system will actually shut down because it heavily relies on the process of mitosis. And so that means without mitosis, you will actually lose the ability to fight off infections, and your immune system will grow extremely weak and unresponsive. Lastly, it is also important to keep in mind that even though we're discussing mitosis, as soon as mitosis has already occurred inside a cell, that same cell undergoes cell division. So, as soon as nuclear division occurs, the cell also divides right after it. And so, in the next few lessons, it will seem like we're heavily discussing the process of mitosis and cell division. But one thing that you all should keep in mind is that both these processes, which means your mitosis, which is a form of nuclear division, and cell division, heavily relies on the abundance of biological molecules present within a cell. In case the nucleus is dividing, it means that it needs to make more chromosomes for itself that are found within the nucleus. And since nucleus is made up of DNA, that means that the cell must be rich in its supply of nucleotides, which is the biological molecule that is responsible for making both DNA and RNA. Additionally, the process of nuclear division and cellular division will both require a lot of enzymes in the process. And since enzymes are proteins, that means the cell must also be rich in its supply of amino acids. And if you recall from your lesson on ribosomes, you'd remember that it is these organelles that are involved in the synthesis of proteins. So the cell must also be rich in ribosomes. Similarly, the process of protein synthesis is an active process, which means that it requires a lot of energy. And energy is created during the process of respiration, which occurs inside the mitochondria. So, the cell must also be abundantly supplied by or have an abundant supply of the organelle mitochondria. And lastly, when the cell is dividing, it means that an entire cell is coming into existence that also has its own cell membrane, and it has organelles inside it that also has membranes around it. And so the cells must also be rich in its supply of phospholipids and lipids in general so that it can carry out its normal processes. And so, to highlight again, in order to carry out mitosis and cell division, the cell must be richly supplied and have an abundant amount of biological molecules present within itself. Without the presence of these biological molecules inside the cell will not be able to carry out mitotic division, mitotic nuclear division, or cell division. To summarize, mitosis is a form of nuclear division which gives rise to an identical nuclei containing equal number of chromosomes as the parent cell, which eventually gives rise to an identical daughter cell. And by the end of this lesson, you should know that mitosis is extremely important for an organism's growth, for organisms to be able to repair its old and damaged cells, and for organisms that are heavily dependent on mitosis for reproducing in the form of asexual reproduction. Similarly, it's also extremely important for our immune system because the immune system will actually shut down without mitosis. And it's not just going to be our immune system that's going to shut down without mitosis. Organisms that reproduce through mitosis will not be able to reproduce without it. Organisms that are constantly replacing old and damaged cells will not be able to do that without mitosis and will eventually die without it. And similarly, organisms that are heavily dependent on mitosis for growth will not be able to grow without mitosis. This means that mitosis is an extremely important and vital function of a living organism, and so must be precisely controlled and managed throughout the life cycle of an organism. In the next few lessons, we will be discussing in more detail how mitosis actually occurs, and we will also be discussing what part of the cell cycle does mitosis occur in? But before we can discuss any of that, we first need to discuss the structure of chromosomes, which are the substance or the thread like structures that are making up the nucleus. And it is going to be the behavior of these chromosomes that is studied during the process of mitosis. So let's conclude this lesson so that we can actually focus on understanding the structure of chromosomes.